What is going on, guys? Peace and blessings. Now, if you're watching this video, I want you guys to be sincere. And be sincere with yourself. And don't commit intellectual dishonesty with yourself. Now, people like Milo Yiannopoulos and Carson, they're not sincere and they're really hypocritical. I'll give you some examples. Carson was asked, would he ever want a Muslim for president? And he said no. But the irony is, and it's because he's going to say they don't value the U.S. Constitution. In another interview, or it could have been the same interview, they asked him, which one has more authority, the Bible or U.S. Constitution? And his reply was, it's not a simple question, and he did not answer the question. So again, we see Carson's hypocrisy and insincerity and double standards. Then moving on to Milo Yiannopoulos. He always attacks Islam because it's against homosexuality and he's homosexual. But then he praises Judeo-Christian values even though the Bible specifically prohibits homosexuality in the Old and the New Testament. But here's the thing. He's also being insincere because all three religions prohibit it, but he only attacks Islam. Again, we see these people's insincerity. Here's a few clips. Just look at it and reflect upon it and see the double standards.
So Carson doesn't have much of a moral compass. Now, that seems like a harsh thing to say, but I've gone over this in the primaries when he was running. He's the guy who does all these fantastical, ridiculous stories about how he was a violent black man and he would stab his friends and hit his mom with a hammer, but he was saved by the Lord Jesus Christ and became enlightened and educated. It's a story tailor-made for white racists. Oh, yeah, well, the blacks are savages, but they can be saved by Jesus. We knew it, and they buy his books, and they pay him a lot of money for speeches. Now, he knows what he's doing. Now, you might not know why he does those super weird stories. Why would someone brag about hitting their mom with a hammer, which he, by the way, didn't even do, right? Or stabbing their friend with a knife that happens to hit their belt buckle. He didn't even do, right? And there's no witnesses of any of that. And how he would save white people from other black savages when they were rioting. A story that also is backed up by no witnesses. Yeah. He does all of that, and he knows what he's doing to appeal to white racists so they'll pay him. The man has no moral compass whatsoever. So if business is in property, and the one department that deals with property is housing and urban development, and you wanted someone with no moral compass who will do whatever you want, the guy you pick might be Carson. And so it is interesting and telling that he won't say something as simple as, no, of course I'm not going to have a conflict of interest and let the president profit from decisions I make in his own administration. That's an easy answer, right?
He refused to do it.
And he wouldn't even do it. He wouldn't even do it. So
that's ominous.
Man. And so all this whole thing that he was taught that, do a joke in the beginning that was like the most awkward laugh.
Nobody else is laughing.
Glad you came back, Elizabeth Warren, to kick my assets all over the place. Right? So that's not going to cover up for the substance of what you're saying, which is, yeah, maybe Trump makes a lot of money off of this. Oops, did that happen? Well, it was because it was to the benefit of the American people.
All right, I'm going to close here with a question from a Facebook poster, and this one came from Victor Rausch. Simple question. Does the Bible have authority over the Constitution?
He said that's a simple question. That is not a simple question by any stretch of the imagination.
A simply worded question. How's that?
I think probably what you have to do is ask a very specific question about a specific passage of the Bible and a specific portion of the Constitution. I don't think you can answer that question other than out of very specific context.
All right. I will leave that answer there. We'll see if Mr. Rausch likes that answer or not. Dr. Carson? So do you believe that Islam is consistent with the Constitution?
No, I don't. I do not. I would not advocate that we put a Muslim in charge of this nation. I absolutely would not agree with that.
And would you ever consider voting for a Muslim for Congress?
Congress is a different story, but it depends on who that Muslim is and what their policies are.
We have a problem in this country. It's called Muslims. We know our current president is one. Right. You know he's not even an American.
We need this
birth
question.
certificates, man. But anyway, we have training camps growing where they want to kill us. Mm-hmm. That's my question. When can we get rid of
We're going to be looking at a lot of different things. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are saying that bad things are happening out there. We're going to be looking at that and plenty of other things.
You are running to be president of the United States of America. That includes millions of peaceful, law-abiding Muslim American citizens who love this country. This man said, quote, "We have a problem in this country. It's called Muslims." Now, you are not responsible for what he says, but this is raw, unvarnished, ignorant bigotry. You are a leader. You're the front runner in the Republican race. Do you not have a responsibility to call out this hatred?
Well, you know, we could be politically correct if you want, but certainly, are you trying to say we don't have a problem? Because I think everybody would agree. I have friends that are Muslims. They're great people, amazing people, and most Muslims, like most everything, I mean, these are fabulous people, but we certainly do have a problem. I mean, you have a problem throughout the world.
What's the problem?
Well, you have radicals that are doing things. I mean, it wasn't people from Sweden that blew up the World Trade Center, Jake.
I get that, but to say we have a problem and it's called Muslims because there are some extremist Muslims is tarring all Muslims. You would agree that the vast...
No, I don't agree with that at all, but you have extremist Muslims that are in a class by themselves. I mean, it is a problem in this country, and it's a problem throughout the world.
Everywhere that doesn't have a strong Christian heritage is a fucked up place with bad morals.
That's a ridiculous statement. That's a ridiculous statement. Everywhere that doesn't have Judeo-Christian values is a fucked up place.
I think that, yes, I think it should be perfectly reasonable, respectable thing to say that our culture is better. I believe our culture is better than everywhere else in the world.
Culture of Christians.
I think
Christians that are running around doing ketamine and fucking each other.
European and American culture, which is based on Judeo-Christian values, is better than other cultures. I think it's uncontroversial to say so.
But what's based on Judeo-Christian values about being a good person?
Well, ultimately, our sense
with
of right and wrong
involved.
comes from the Bible.
What?
It does.
What comes from the Bible?
Ultimately, our sense of right and wrong comes from the Bible.
Our sense of right and wrong.
I think your sense
of... there's the only way that a person could have ethics and morals and treat each other well.
No, I didn't say the only way.
Don't you think that people understand what's good and what's bad? Listen, if we're going to have a conversation, we can't keep talking over each other like this. When someone's trying to make a point about something that's complex like this, if you think that the only way for a person to have ethics or an understanding of each other or compassion for each other is to rely on ancient myths that are easily scientifically disproven, well, that's what Christianity is.
No, I didn't say that. I said that the specific set of values that you have is influenced more than you would like to admit by your Judeo-Christian heritage.
It's influenced by a
there are certain
horde
things
of
that I think
factors.
all of us have.
What you are.
I mean, I might take it to extremes.
Who you are, but who you are. Being a gay man
who I am.
that's
how
promiscuous.
I behave. It's what I do.
But that is prohibited in the Bible.
Yes, but I agree that it would be better if I didn't behave like this, and if I could
choose
to be heterosexual, I would do so.
Self-loathing homosexual.
No, and I won't have this. You need to read a wonderful essay by Bret
No, I don't need to read shit. I need to know what the fuck you're saying.
Okay, so Bret Easton
Because what you're saying is who you are. It's not prohibited in the Bible.
You are, because I don't think my sexuality is an important component
of my It's a huge part of you. You talk about it all the time. Well, it's a massive part of what we've talked about on the show.
I think
it comes up anytime you want to make a funny point. It comes up anytime you want to define your sexuality or your urges or your decadence.
I think people
jump to it because I think it's you.
Well, I think people leap to the most the most different thing about themselves, or the most unusual thing about themselves, anytime they want to be funny or be, black. That's why black comedians talk about being black a lot. Chris Rock always talks about, blacks and the N-word. It's why, Muslim comedians only ever talk about Islam. It's, gay comedians talk about being gay. I think that's, you go to that because it's the most different, funny thing about you. It's a sort of a form of laziness, I suppose. So I don't know that's particularly relevant, but
no, wait, listen, it's absolutely relevant.
Well,
You're supposed to be
joke out of it, but
stoned to death in a lot of cultures.
Well, in Muslim cultures, not in ours. Not in ours. And it's only the Muslim world that does that now. It was 11 countries.
Well, they're the last ones that continue the grand old tradition of killing gay people. But that shit's been around forever. I mean, what does it say in the Bible about a man lying with another man?
I think if I could choose, I wouldn't be homosexual.
Really?
That doesn't make me self-loathing.
So if someone came out with a pill,
make me
Pfizer
came out with a pill to make me straight.
Does.
No, it doesn't.
You don't think it makes you self-loathing to hate a part of what you are?
I don't hate a part of what I am. I love all of me, but if I could choose to be even better, then I would be.
So you'd be better if you were straight?
Yes.
Wow.
Anybody would be.
If
Any gay
Johnson &
person would be
Johnson
better if they
came
were
along and had an anti-gay pill,
yeah,
you would take it?
Well, it would be career suicide, but I probably would.
I will give him this. At least he admits it's a sin, whereas most people from other religions, and also his religion, they will say, oh, it's not a sin, it's okay, even though the text prohibits it. So at least he doesn't admit you're allowed to do it. And this is also to the Muslims. You know exactly what I'm talking about, where Muslims try to make haram halal and halal haram. Shouldn't be doing that. If you're sinning, just admit it's a sin and don't say it's halal, because then you're now committing shirk and it just makes it worse. What's halal is halal and what's haram is haram. Now, back to what I was saying. Reflect upon this and be sincere, guys. Peace.